This April 6th Planning Commission meeting to order. And can we have a roll call, please?
Chairperson Chauncey,
Here.
Commission Member Howell,
Here.
Commission Member Miller, Commission Member Spence,
Here.
Commission Member Tuggle.
Here.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, or not being here, kind of, sort of, but at least you're all home and safe. Before we get into new business, we'll discuss the approval of the minutes from our January 6th Planning Commission meeting. I trust everyone's had a chance to look over the minutes, so I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's a race.
Okay, got a first by Tuggle and a second by Ms. Howe. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commission Member Howell,
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Commission Member Tuggle,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Those minutes are approved, and we'll go to the first item of new business. It's going to be amending the zoning ordinance pertaining to communication towers.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and Commission. This is as it relates to update our telecommunications ordinance. We've had an ordinance for a number of years as it related to cell towers, but it didn't evolve with technology. So this is going to be an update. We're starting to get more calls and more interest. And with the rapid change in technology related to telecommunications, staff sees the need to update our zoning regulations for the construction enforcement of telecommunications. This will allow us to have more input on site location, number of sites, permitting, and aesthetics. There was a state law passed about a year ago, and it limited what we could do as it relates to enforcement and enacting the ordinance. So basically, this kind of mimics what the state will allow us to do. We were able to put some things in there, but in order for me to make this amendment, I have to come to the Planning Commission first, and then also take it to the City Council for final approval. But this is something that needs to be done to update our current zoning ordinance.
Okay. Thank you, Kenny. I agree. So do I hear a motion in regards to the zoning ordinance amendment? We'll put a motion on the floor before we discuss, so you'll have a chance to discuss it. Do I hear a motion?
Well, so we're going to do a motion before we discuss?
Preferably.
Okay.
Yes, I'd prefer to put a motion on the floor, and then we can discuss it.
You can do a motion for purposes of discussion.
Okay,
Make a
well,
motion for purposes of discussion. You're not doing for.
well, I'll entertain a motion for purpose of discussion.
Okay, motion for purposes of discussion.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, roll call, please.
Commission Member, excuse me, Commission Member Howell,
Yes. To discuss?
Yes.
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Commission Member Tuggle,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Mr. Tuggle, do you have I kind of get the impression you want to discuss it.
Sure. I mean, I was just trying to understand the changes. The only highlight I saw was the Title 14 highlight. Correct me if I'm missing something else, but I'm not sure. Since I'm not familiar with what it already was, I don't really know what's being updated. I understand mirroring state law, but I'm guessing the cause for this is due to proliferation with 5G and the need to have more cell phone towers for density, or what's the idea? I'm not seeing what's changed.
Yeah, that's correct. So this is basically will replace our existing ordinance that we have within zoning. Our current zoning ordinance just allows for, it even goes back to microwaves and your ham radio sites. So outside of your large cell phone cell towers, that was all that it had permitting and enforcement for. So it didn't have anything to do with the micro sites or for small cell technology. So it was completely outdated. So this will replace that with the current language, which was passed and approved by state law.
And so this will allow us to have the ability to approve placement and whatnot of 5G or microcell technology?
Absolutely.
Okay, then yes. Yeah, good.
Any more discussion?
Do we need to have something for like future technologies not yet known? Or, I mean, what's going to prevent us from having to change this every time something new comes out?
Well, I believe this is going to be one of those ordinances that it evolves with time. Unlike the last one that sat for 20 years, staff plans to work with other specialty groups and kind of get a better understanding of the technology that's coming, so we can make sure that we have a good base, at least for the ordinance itself. That way we can expand upon that in the future as needed.
Okay. Any more discussion? Question?
I'm good.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion to take action on this zoning ordinance amendment.
Motion to approve the amendment.
Second.
Got a motion to approve, Ms. Tuggle, and a second by Ms. Howell. Can I have roll call, please?
Commission Member Howell,
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Commission Member Tuggle,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Okay, that amendment will go before City Council for final approval. The last item on the agenda is going to be amending the municipal floodplain zoning ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commission. We had the original adoption of the floodplain ordinance when we joined this, the National Flood Insurance Program in the late 70s, early 80s. It's evolved a little bit since then, but technology and terminology and the enforcement and permitting has obviously changed over the last several years. In the mid-1980s, early 90s, the zoning was updated as it relates to how you develop within the floodplain. This document here is more of a boilerplate that's throughout all jurisdictions as it relates to FEMA. We've requested the National Flood Insurance Program, the State Floodplain Coordinator to come and do an evaluation of our department on how we're handling the permitting and the enforcement of the floodplain regulations. And by doing that, it's going to get us involved in the program with hopes that we score enough points. We'll be the only ones in Hamilton County, maybe the only one in Tennessee, that would have the ability to get involved in this program or that's seeking this program. And if all goes well, then we could see up to a 10% savings of homeowners insurance within the floodplain. So that their flood insurance that they have to give, people are always asking how can we lower flood insurance premiums and stuff like that. Well, we're trying to find ways to be able to do that to help the community. And this is just one step that would move us that direction, just to update the floodplain ordinance.
Thank you, Kenny. Okay, do I hear a motion in regards to amending the municipal floodplain zoning ordinance?
Can I ask a question, Kenny?
Yes.
Is this going to basically allow us to work with the federal government to be able to change our floodplain maps without requiring every person who's moved out of that area to do a LOMA letter?
No, this will not change that at all. This basically will update what we had initially. The original one actually said that you could go 2 foot below base flood, to where actually it's 1 foot above BFE. I mean, that's what we go by.
Right.
So what we've been actually using more stringent requirements than was what was actually listed, just because it was outdated. So that's kind of what we're trying to do, is just update everything. But going through a loan and stuff like that is still going to have to take place, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, so this could potentially allow us to designate an area not in a floodplain that's 2 feet below 500-year BFE?
Hypothetically, but it's still going to require the engineering and surveying to be able to do that.
Sure. But that could reduce a lot of the fill and then the changes to floodwater runoff,
Yes.
which I guess is development, right?
Right.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, Ken?
Yes.
What is the definition of BFE?
Base flood elevation.
Like base flood elevation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And so I'm assuming if we are able to designate fewer areas as requiring substantial fill, that will allow us to make fewer changes to floodwater and potentially put fewer people in the path of needing flood insurance.
Yes, the main thing, what we're trying to do is to get involved in this community risk reduction type program. It will allow us to apply for grants. The grants that we can apply for will be real-time floodwater monitoring. So the more we put in place, and like I said, this ordinance is, we already have one, this is just updating what was originally there. And then by being able to apply for grants and everything that we do within the program, we continue to gain points. And the more points we gain, the bigger savings that the citizens see. But having the ability to apply for, real-time flood monitoring, right now we use NOAA and we use the data that comes in through Chattanooga, but we could potentially put them on, put it in areas that are not monitored by everybody else, where we have real-time data that knows exactly when creeks are rising. It can speed up response and recovery. So there's a lot of things that this does, that this base, by order or by passing this ordinance, will get us started moving in the right direction for the future. But this whole watershed actually needs to be reevaluated, and I believe the state is actually working on that right now with their consultant engineers, which would provide new maps. We just actually recently got our new floodplain maps.
And this is not related to our ability to do something with the state in regard, and FEMA with properties that are in imminent danger of collapse or not, multiple floods, et cetera, like Bradley County recently did.
No,
This is just redefining areas.
this is basically just updating the terminology, making sure that it gives a guidance for permitting and enforcement. And then what it'll also do is provide just an extra layer of protection for the municipality through the enforcement mechanism.
Any other questions? If I hear none, I will entertain a motion to approve or deny.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, go ahead. I prefer to, and I know we're doing this a little bit differently, guys. I guess in this last probably dozen or more council meetings, it was brought to my attention that the standard Robert Rules of Order should be to put a motion on the floor, either to discuss or approve or take some sort of action and then discuss. Is that, yeah, so.
It can all be one motion, you can say.
Yeah,
I'd
so-
like to make a motion for this, for
So-
purposes of discussion, but it's still just one motion for approve or deny.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to approve for purposes of discussion.
Okay, yeah, so
For or against?
I'm not trying to hush anybody up. I definitely want everybody to have the opportunity to ask questions, to discuss, but I just want to just maintain the typical Robert's Rules of Order. So at this time, I want to hear a motion either to discuss, which, Mickey, you want to make that motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to discuss.
Okay, all right, I just want to stay in compliance here. So do I hear a second?
Second.
Got a first and a second. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Member Howell,
Yes.
Commissioner Member Spence,
Yes.
Commissioner Member Tuggle,
Yes.
Chairperson Johnson.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Spence, go ahead.
I just had a couple of questions. I guess statements is more the term to use, but everything I'm hearing is all positive. And have real-time floodplain monitoring and saving money on insurance. I just don't see anything negative in this plan. If somebody else sees something I don't, please let me know.
Yeah, like I say, this is just replacing the ordinance that we currently have adopted. And by replacing it, it just comes more in line with the terminology that we use on a day-to-day basis. So just to kind of give you an idea, if somebody lives within a 100-year floodplain and they come in to get a building permit, maybe in the past they were able to get the building permit. Now we do not allow building permits to be issued without a substantial improvement form being filled out. So they have to come back, have the contractor fill out a substantial improvement form to say that they're not going to exceed 50% value of the home. If it does exceed 50% value, then they have to meet special floodplain requirements, whether it's elevating the structure, freeboarding. There's several things that you have to do, floodproofing. So this ordinance just really allows us to continue to move forward in the direction that we've already been going, but it's updated. So then we can take this piece and continue to build on it by trying to get involved in this other program that will allow us to hopefully save some money for the citizens that live within the floodplain. And we have several that do. But if there's anything that we can do and save a percentage just by putting in some extra work and adopting some more regulations, then that's what staff feels like we should do.
Sure, and I don't want to seem like wet blanket for progress. I love progress. That's why I enjoy being on this commission. I just want to make sure, since we don't know what it was prior, and I'm not a lawyer, I just want to kind of get a summary for what it is we're voting on.
Any other questions?
No.
Nothing? I see none. So do I hear a motion in regards to the amending the municipal floodplain zoning ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion to approve from Ms. Howe and a second by Commissioner Spence. Roll call, please.
Commission Member Howe,
Yes.
Commission Member Spence,
Yes.
Commission Member Tuggle,
Yes.
Chairperson Chauncey.
Yes. Okay, it's
Thank you all.
thank you, Kenny. That's everything on the agenda tonight. I had mentioned during the last planning commission meeting, probably 3 months ago, I guess now, that I wanted to appoint a vice chair. Now's a better time than any to be prepared for the absence of myself or anyone else, I guess. But I wanted Mr. Miller to be on board with us tonight before we made a vote. But so I guess I'll just wait unless someone. I guess I'll just make that decision and wait till the next meeting. So just keep that in mind. So maybe we'll have a full commission here in the next meeting to appoint a vice chair. And with that, that's everything on the agenda. I will officially adjourn this meeting. Thank you all. Stay safe.